I'm Kelly Reed Dalton for the Central Coast Heritage Tree Foundation, and I'm here with Monica for Tree Friends from Ranchita Pura Vida in Templeton. And we're checking in on a tree that we treated last year, or earlier this year. We used some black diamond vermicompost to do some columnar tree feeding on this tree behind us. So we're looking at the new growth and how it made it through this summer. Maybe Monica, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've seen from the tree itself and how it looks to you?
It's feeling like the green growth has been gradually overcoming the majority of the dead growth. And as we were noticing, we got a lot of acorns this year, which would hopefully indicate that it's feeling better. And overall, it just seems stronger than it had been. And then later on, we might be able to get some video of a neighbor's tree that was at a similar state, and seeing the difference in its condition compared to this tree now after this tree got the nutrition.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We'll go take a look at that tree in a second. So I think that the growth at this time of year, because we're entering into fall season where the leaves are going to drop, obviously, but it has really nice new growth on it, and
The canopy just seems much more dense and protective than it had been.
and it is a good sign. We're going to collect up some of these acorns for planting. We'll sprout them up, and this is a Quercus lobata valley oak, so we'll sprout some of these for planting here on this ranch in the coming years. So that's a good sign that the tree produced acorns and that it is feeling a little bit better. So let's take a walk and we'll check out some of the other trees here and learn a little bit more about the ranch. So we walked a little bit and we are now at a slightly different location where we're going to talk to Monica about a tree that fell, a really nice big valley oak that she lost here last year. You'll see it's enormous, right? It looks like it was hollow. So what were you saying about this, Monica?
Well, it looked so much like this big tree behind you, just beautiful tree, and then it fell and crashed through the fence, and the whole tree fell. It wasn't just a branch. And then they discovered after that how hollow the tree is, and that even though it looked so strong out on the outside, it was hollowing out from the inside.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just relative to your size, you can tell. Oh my gosh.
So it's like a 5.5 foot, 6 foot wide tree.
Right.
The tree lines. Where I grew up in Mendocino County, we had redwoods.
Yeah.
And so you could always tell the age of redwood by counting all these, but these are such teeny weeny little lines.
Yeah, that oak as a hardwood, it grows pretty slowly. So this tree,
I mean,
it could have been 250, 300 years old at least.
Yeah.
And it was feeding its brothers and sisters or whoever these relatives are here on the rest of this ranch. And this one here is so stately and beautiful. That is that a live oak? That's not a valley oak.
Right. I think this one's a live oak, but it just got trimmed for the first time since I've lived here, and I've been here since 2010, I guess. And boy, the trimming job just makes it. I feel like we're in Africa or something, and a lion should be on one of those trees.
Yeah, it does look like a Serengeti. A giraffe could reach up into that canopy. It's beautiful.
To be able to see the limbs. Before the branches were so thick, you couldn't really see the structure of the tree, but it's really a beautiful tree.
And so cool to see a different species being here with all your other valley oaks. And also, this is a great job that they did on taking care of the branches to lighten up some of the load in the canopy, take out some of these lower branches here, but really leave a lot of the shade structure and the overall canopy. But that's a really nice maintenance job.
From this angle, you can see they took a couple of pretty big branches, but overall the tree looks so balanced now.
So that's a great tip tip for homeowners wanting to know about just general maintenance. This tree is outside your fence line, so that's in kind of like the public right-of-way, but nevertheless considered by the county to be under the jurisdiction of the landowner. And these trees sometimes don't get very well taken care of just because of their location in the world, that they get left in that limbo zone. And it's not inexpensive to take care of trees. So this is a really nice thing for the entire street and for the oak woodland here in general.
Yeah, and later on I can show you this tree is far enough away from the power lines that they don't trim it, thank goodness, because when they come in to make sure the power lines are safe, they really aren't taking any consideration to the health of the tree. They just whack it to what makes it safe for the power lines.
Exactly.
So this one's next to them, but luckily never had to be impacted by them. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to trim it this year, because I just was afraid that they might go after it.
And when they do those kinds of trimmings where they're really taking care of the power lines most first and foremost and not the tree, they actually can encourage more tree growth, because the trimmings and the cuttings that they make, since their goal is to remove them from the structure of the power lines, they can actually make the tree grow awkwardly and more scrubby, smaller growth that's more prone to breaking in the future.
Definitely see that a little bit.
Cool. So let's take another little walk. Okay, so here we are at another corner along one of the the more local thoroughfares. Is a higher traffic zone. Yeah, but this intersection here is kind of interesting. What I really like is that we've got some younger generation of trees that are going to help to regrow the larger woodland here. So I'm really excited when I see, like smaller trees coming up, because our bigger trees, they're not going to last forever. We need to have these next to take over. But something interesting is happening over here on the other side of the street, and that is that the tree of heaven has become an infestation. And so in the oak world, we kind of laugh and we call the tree of heaven the tree of hell, because it really takes over and can become very invasive. It is a non-native species that regrows prolifically. And these trees on this side have started to become a little bit of a, especially the ones on the corner, they're detracting a little from the visuals of turning the corner. So they could be pruned away from the corner just for traffic purposes. But also taking them out would benefit the woodland, because then we would be encouraging native trees that are long growing and long lasting and going to provide a lot more catchment for the water system and not be deterred by the smaller, scrubbier.
But I just wonder what's the struggle for them over here.
So here's a couple of older trees. This one here is one that has quite a bit more of that little epicormic growth and a lot of dead branches that could probably benefit from a good haircut. But we're talking about maybe this tree is being a good recipient of the black diamond vermicompost feed a tree, just to give it a little bit of a boost. It's directly across the pasture from the tree over here in the corner that was treated earlier in the year. So we're hoping that by affecting one tree in the forest and planting a couple of new ones are proposed for this area over here, that we can help continue to regenerate the soil and also the mycelium fungal network under the soil to create a little more health structure for all of the trees that are here, because they will all communicate with one another. So we're back again at the front corner here next to the tree. Have another look at the one that we treated with the vermicompost. And then Monica has done a really nice planting here bordering her fence line next to the street of some new oak saplings, and the mulch looks great. The trees are irrigated And yes, there may be a little predation by some ground squirrel activity, because in this situation we did not put baskets just so that they could continue to grow. It's likely there's enough going on that the ground squirrels will leave the rest of these alone. They'll get established, they'll grow fast and big enough that they won't be an issue. But for where there has been a little predation, we're just going to come back and we'll add another new tree there this fall so that they have some succession along this line here. I love seeing that. And there's some other nice sized variations across the pasture here. There's a couple other smaller, younger oaks to anchor this forest here too. So thank you so much, Monica, for having us out here at your ranch, and I loved seeing all of it and having you tell us about it. So what would you say is your favorite part of being a land steward and participating in your forest here?
Oh, I'd say my favorite part is really enjoying their natural beauty and doing what I can to support them. We were sharing earlier that it's very expensive to initially get the trees balanced, but my hope in that investment is that for many decades they'll benefit from that. And I grew up in the redwood forest, which feels very spiritual and energetic, and as I live on this property, the oaks have really won me over in their own beauty and specialness, and I just love seeing them balanced and looking so happy. And it's beautiful seeing their limbs when they finally get the pruning, and you can really see to the core of the tree just how incredibly beautiful they are.
I love that. It's really nice to hear all of those good words of advice, and just to be here on your property. A true tree friend. Thanks so much for being part of our little show. And if you have any comments, questions, or otherwise want to interact, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our website. We have lots of resources there. And if you have any questions, send us an email. Thanks.